actually meditate on the body of Guru Nanak. There's a distinct difference here. Now, we're all bodies here, sitting here, right? But each one of you have a name, don't they? And each one, that name, if you know the person, you say, oh, so-and-so. And what does it remind you of? Besides his body or her body. It reminds you of their personality. Am I right? Some of you say, she or he is my friend. Another you might say, don't like that person. But in terms of physical form, that person is no different than any other person. You don't like it because the personality isn't to your liking. Yeah? So here, what Guruji is saying is, meditate upon the personality of Guru, which really is the word. Word of Vaheguru. Because that's the real personality, Shabd Guru. The word is the Guru, Bani Guru. The word is the Guru. Guru hai Bani. So you meditate on the word, right? Through Guru Nanak's personality, all his blessings. And it won't hurt if you remember any historical aspect. Obviously, you only got a couple of seconds to do that because the Ardas is moving on. But certainly you need to say, yes, how great Guru Nanak was. At least you can say that bit. And therefore you just now played a little part in the Ardas. When you say that, you know, when the Ardas here says, Pratham Guru Nanak laid the eye, and you say, Tan Guru Nanak. Just that. You've just now joined in the Ardas. Are you getting what I'm saying? Instead of standing there and saying, okay, fair enough, that's again his job to say the Ardas guy. When he says, Pratham Gauti Sarvi, you say Vaheguru. And you say Guru Nanak laid the eye, you say Tan Guru Nanak. That in itself is focusing your mind on the words of the Ardas. And you'll see the immense difference you'll start making to your own life. You start doing that. Because suddenly the mind is now thinking, hey, this is my prayer. This is what joins me to the Guru. Suddenly now I'm feeling I'm part of it. Whereas before, I just stood there as a statue, waiting for the end of the Ardas. Hoping again you will hurry up or speed up something. Right? Now you're suddenly thinking, hey, I'm following word for word. And it's making sense. फिर अंगद गुर ते अमरदास रामदास से हुए सहाय. Again, I'll say it very quickly. You should say, फिर अंगद गुर ते अमरदास रामदास से हुए सहाय. Then meditate on Guru Angad Dev Ji. Then remember and meditate on Guru Angad Dev Ji. And then Guru Amar Das Ji. And then Guru Ramdas Ji. May they help us. See how the mind is now focusing on the greatness of Guru Angad Dev Ji. How he did selfless service of Guru Nanak. How he sort of offered himself to Guru Nanak. Eventually became a slave of Guru Nanak. Because he knew that's the only way that he would achieve salvation. That's the only way that Guru would bless him if he gave himself up to Guru Nanak. In remembering that bit, for that few seconds in the Ardas, will let your mind waken to Guru Angad Dev Ji. Before where it was, oh, what's the name of my 10 Gurus? Well, not Guru Nanak, not Guru Gobind Singh Ji, but what are the other 8 Gurus? How many of you here know the 10 Gurus and their names? Some are hesitant? Yeah, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. You know, it's just something, if you haven't learned it, you haven't learned it. It's something, if you haven't come across it, something not sort of enforced it out on you, you probably don't know it. So, nothing to be embarrassed about. But can you see now, just the first body of the Ardas as we're going through it, right? It can make a massive difference to your psychology, your thinking. Now you're suddenly thinking, hey, I want to understand Guru Nanak a bit more. What is his greatness? And it might even just make you think, well, I want to read Guru Nanak's life stories. What was his greatness that I should ponder upon? I should meditate upon. Then Guru Angad Dev Ji, what was his greatness? Then Guru Amar Das Ji, what was his contribution to Sikhi? What was his greatness? And then Guru Ramdas Ji. And suddenly now, you just joined to 4 Gurus who are all one, but in 4 different forms. Arjun Har Govindanu, Simro Sri Har Rai. Remember and meditate upon Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Hargobind Sahib, and respected Guru Har Rai Ji, 5th, 6th and 7th Guru. Again, the Ardas is quite fast, so we don't get the chance to really meditate upon each Guru. And as a sort of a routine, I always tend to, go as Dhamma Netanim, I always tend to say the name of the 10 Gurus separately, just to remember their greatness. I say, Tan Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. You want to repeat after me? Tan Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Now come on, put some feeling into it. It's not sort of a routine. Tan Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Say it loud. He is our Guru. Yes? And he's not, it's difficult to express his greatness. It's a subject on its own. But believe me, when you study Guru Nanak's life story, you will be hypnotized if you study it with some love and devotion. Tan Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Amar Das Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Ram Das Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Har Rai Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Har Krishna Sahib Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. Tan Tan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And Tan Tan Sri Guru Khalsa Sahib Ji. I add that in because Guruji bestowed the Guruship on Guru Granth Sahib Ji and Panth Khalsa, the Panch Pyare. If you could do that for your Netanim, right? You have that half minute, you do it, right? A chance to sort of do some more meditation on the Guru's greatness. And then when you go to Ardas, right, you'll see the difference then. So, remember and meditate upon Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Har Gobind Sahib and respected Guru Har Rai Ji. Remember and meditate, Sri Har Krishna Tiyai hai, jaise ditte sab dukh jaye. Remember and meditate upon respected Guru Har Krishna Sahib Ji, by having the sight of whom all pains vanish. It is said that those that saw Guru Har Krishna Sahib Ji, their illnesses and pains vanished. Now, can anybody tell me what age was Guru Har Krishna Sahib Ji? 9? Who else?
8.
Yeah, it's about 6 to 8, or 6 to 9 sort of thing. He's only on the throne for about 4 or 5 years. Now that's a very, very small age. And to be a Guru, to be on the throne of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, is just amazing. It's difficult to actually, if we're true to ourselves, it's difficult to believe that a child of that age can have that power that the Guru has. But it's a fact. He did. And doubters, as they were, and still are, there's one massive doubter in that time. He doubted that it was impossible for a child to be a Guru. And he was a very, very learned person, a Pandit, a Brahmin. He used to carry a load of books with him, religious books, showing how knowledgeable he was. He said there's no way that the child can be a Guru. Especially, he can't have a name of Har Krishna. See, Krishna was their name for their incarnate God, Krishna. And Guru's name was Har Krishna. Har also means why Guru, right? And he said, how can he have that such a big name, right? And be a Guru when he's only a child? He said, I don't believe it. Unless he shows me any powers, I don't believe he's a Guru. And he put a challenge down. He said, if the Guru Sikhs, the Guru of the Sikhs, Guru Har Krishna Sahib, if he can translate the Gita, which Krishna wrote, if he can translate some of the slokas from that, then I would accept that he could be Guru. When Guruji had this challenge, Guruji said,